I want to welcome everyone for registering. Very impressed with the numbers of the folks that registered for this. NAIFA really as a foundation of advocating, educating, and differentiating, which is one of the triangle principles of NAIFA. And with that, this is a bit of a different type of a session, but the premise behind doing a member orientation, not necessarily new member, but member, because we're going to be discussing some things that maybe we had forgotten, or maybe there's resources that are made available either on the local, the state, or national scale. We're going to be canvassing a bunch of those types of things. This is really, really geared towards NAIFA-Texas, since we're all a part of our state federation, at least on this call. So I found that folks join NAIFA for really a few different types of reasons. And I mentioned this triangle of the advocate, educate, and differentiate. For me, it was really the fellowship. Yes, the transfer of knowledge and learning some things from the giants that came before us. But I wanted to plug in with some other like-minded folks. When I moved to Texas 9 years ago, I knew one person when I moved here. And right when I got here, he left. So I knew nobody. So I needed to really surround myself with good quality folks. And I got that from NAIFA. For some, it's joining because of the advocacy piece, which is really important because NAIFA stands alone within itself in that we advocate on the local level. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment as well. So everyone joins for different reasons, and you may hear some more stories from our additional panelists that discuss their whys. But really the execution side comes from a great team that we have within NAIFA-Texas, as well as some of our local associations around the Texas Federation. And that's with Renae Davies as well as Rebecca, who oversee the execution, the communication. So I'll introduce Rebecca and take it away from the administrative side of NAIFA-Texas.
Rebecca Hazlett. I'm an administrative assistant here, and I help out with a lot of the programs and events. Any questions about how to register for events, how to navigate our website, and those dealings, I'm kind of the person to go to. You can always contact me by phone or email, and I'm your gal for that sort of thing. So I'll toss that back over to you, Rick.
Thanks, Rebecca. So both Renae, did you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. I'm the executive director of NAIFA-Texas. We are here. Rebecca and I are here to help however we can. We are always available by phone or email. You will likely see an email from me every single time someone new joins. I send an email and I copy our membership chair and Rebecca on those emails. I also copy anyone from the local chapter or the affiliate that you are associated with on those emails, with just some links that important information that you should know moving forward. And one of the things I did want to just show really quickly is the NAIFA-Texas website. And on here, we have a state event calendar, and this includes all events all over the state. So we reach out to all of our local chapters and our affiliates, and we ask them to submit their events for the year. And as we receive those, we do update this master calendar. So everything you need to know is right here on the website. And then we will go, Jim Thompson, president, will get into the 2024 state conference here shortly, but I did just want to share this with you. There's a lot of information on the NAIFA-Texas website, as is the NAIFA national website, which Suzanne and Randy will be getting into later, but I did want to touch on that as well. But like I said, we are here to answer any questions you have, and we are on we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. We really would love it if everyone likes all of our pages and our accounts. And we do highlight our new members each month in a social media post that does get emailed and posted to all of our social media. So look for those. And when you see your name, or if you see something you like, please share it with your network. And that's it. I'll turn back over to you, Rick.
Thanks, Renae. And Rebecca, the biggest takeaway with that solid team is if you don't know where to find something, reach out to Renae. It's the support in our admin team really helps. NAIFA has a lot of moving pieces, which you're going to continue to find. So thank you so much from the admin side. They're on every committee meeting, every board meeting. It's amazing, and y'all are a blessing for us. Speaking of board meetings, so our current state president, Mr. Jim Thompson, is very excited to talk about our state conference coming up here in my backyard and just here in a little bit. Over to you, Jim.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I just reiterate what Rick teed it up perfectly. Relationship. That's what we're all about. I want to share a little love about Renae and Rebecca. They just do a tremendous amount of work. And since I love NAIFA month, I believe that's right, Suzanne, then we are definitely in sharing that love and everybody. And speaking of which, this conference that Rick mentioned that's coming up February 15th through 18th, couldn't be more excited about it. The relationships, I think, are so important. Any entity, organization, social construct, they must have viable relationships to survive. All the education, advocacy, differentiation that Rick mentioned, all the high-powered speakers, fancy banquets, eloquence of pleading for your help, none of these can compel you to be involved. If you're not connecting with peers and colleagues in our NAIFA family, and I really want to call it family, you're more easily able to find excuses not to engage. It is far easier to leave an organization than to leave close friends. So our focus on this conference is to build relationships and friends. And because of this, each session, speaker, and activity in this conference, it's designed to promote relation skills, friendly competition, and memorable experiences. We will learn how to better our craft, of course. We will test our listening skills, discernment of truth telling. That's going to be very interesting to learn better ways to do that. Building the strength of the team, as Rick mentioned, to multiply accomplishment. We'll hear amazing real life stories of overcoming devastating wounds, both physical and psychological. We're going to find the inspiration to build your belief that success isn't just the accumulation of dollars in the bank, but the magnitude of lives you have impacted for the better. We're going to start on Thursday, the 15th at 4 o'clock. We're going to have a leadership workshop. We need to develop more diverse leaders to run our affiliates and chapters. Leaders may be born, but they still must be trained. So that's what that purpose is going to be. Come in early. We're going to share ideas. It's going to be an informal roundtable of discussions. So love to have you. Friday the 16th, February the 16th. That's where we kick everything in high gear. We're going to have a LILI class, the LILI Summit for past graduates, and we're going to have the class graduation later on Friday evening. Our inspiration for the weekend raises the bar when we're going to have a wounded warrior speaker, Jason Redmond, who is a Navy SEAL and has an incredible story. There will be a special presentation on behalf of the American Warrior Initiative that will bring your patriotism to full throttle. I promise you, you'll want to be there for that. And then Tracy Brown returns for those that were at the conference in 2023. She's going to do a command performance on Liar, Liar, teaching us to read the truth or consequences of what people say. We will put these skills to practice in fun competition among our peers, and we're going to call out falsehood in a session we're going to title, What's the Catch? So you'll want to be a part of that. Heartstrings will be certainly pulled as we go through Life Happens, a luncheon on Saturday the 17th. If any of you have ever been to a Life Happens, you know how impactful that story is. We're bringing the live people in to talk about their story, the agent that was involved in it, and we're going to see the true story of what happened. It's the why that Rick mentioned that we do what we do. Steve Gilliland, our speaker on Saturday afternoon, that'll finish things up. If you've ever heard him, he's an inspirational top 25 speakers in the nation. His humor and life experience will give us hope that we can grow and develop into the advisor to whom we aspire without losing our character in the exchange. And then topping the weekend, we travel to NASA Space Center in Houston for the Saturday night special. We're going to have our NAIFA-Texas Leaders Awards Banquet and a venue that is literally out of this world. We honor our leaders for leadership achievement, including the NAIFA-Texas highest award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, where once again, we're going to have a special surprise announcement and presentation. So other than that, not much happening in February, but please be a part of this exciting family, NAIFA family. That's what we're going to build. And that's what I think will make a difference for people to be staying with us and bringing new people in. So the registrations for the conference, as Renae indicated, it's on the website. You should be receiving emails, one of which had the handsome face of Rick Demko on it, inviting you to join us. And it's going to be a fun time, and we really appreciate that. And the website, by the way, is tx.naifa.org. So go there, be sure and sign up, and bring some friends. Thank you, Rick.
I love it. Thanks, Jim. The caliber of this programming right in our backyard, depending on if you're in El Paso or Amarillo, maybe it's not in your backyard, but I encourage you to come. It is going to be a lot of fun. And coming from someone who really joined NAIFA in the beginning, because I think as we go through, what we wanted from NAIFA can sometimes change, which is why that there's so much that we can plug into in regards to NAIFA. But this program is going to be great. It's coming up very quick. So take a look. Thank you, Jim. So next, another board member. So Andrea Ames, who is serving on our state board of directors as a director, has a great testimonial and has done a lot within NAIFA. So Andrea, why don't you take it away?
Thanks, Rick. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'll be as brief as possible. I love to talk, but I'll keep it short. So, you know, I've been in this business going on 11, 12 years. And, you know, I have a history in this business. I grew up in it. My dad was a financial advisor for many years, started with Mutual of New York, was involved in NAIFA for many years, NAILU back then. So I've been to luncheons as a little kid. My great-grandfather was in life insurance. So I'm the third generation. So, you know, it is definitely in my blood, I feel. But the part that really matters to me is being a part of something other than just going every day trying to build a business. This, as you all know, can be a tough business. The victories are fantastic, but the everyday stuff can be difficult. And I have had my trials. I was really lucky to work with someone who was very successful and taught me the ropes. But then when you get out there on your own, sometimes it can be a little chaotic. And I need people, and we all do. And there are tons of associations out there and tons of different ways to be involved. And we have to network and build our network and prospect and trudging along. But how are we you know, taking care of ourselves, and how are we learning more and being better for those that we serve? Because you're not in this business just for one reason. You're in this business because you do have a servant's heart, because you care about others. I mean, why would you not be in this business every day? You're doing things that change lives, make lives better. So you need to take care of yourself. One of those ways for me is to be involved in something where I'm seeing other people on a regular basis that are in the same boat I'm in, that are trying to make things better. And that's the way I've always seen NAIFA. And part of this, the reason that I say this, because I did take a break about 2019, 2020, took a little break and thought maybe I didn't want to do this. So I'm just being honest. And I had to reassess and figure out how I wanted to be in this business and build my career and keep going. And I did, and I figured it out, and I love what I do now. And I'm so glad that I'm full-fledged back in NAIFA, because I really feel like if you're giving that passion, if you're giving of yourself and supporting your industry and giving that time in kind of a voluntary way, you get that back. You give service to keep that servant's heart and to keep your passion alive. And you don't have to join the state board. You don't have to get, you know, just 24/7 NAIFA, but show up. The biggest part of life is just showing up. Attend luncheons, attend conferences, join webinars, get some professional development, get a taste for it, start going to things, join events, see what else is out there in your NAIFA chapters and your affiliates, and go visit and go see what it's like. And go to the website, look at the libraries. There's so much information there that has helped me just quick run into a meeting. Let me check the website. Let me see what I can pull off on this particular little, you know, nugget. And it's changed the course of the meeting, and it's changed the course of the week, and it just compounds. So you don't have to sign on to a huge commitment, but just start showing up And little by little, you will see the value of NAIFA, because I certainly do. And not only that, I think the biggest piece of what Jim mentioned, what Rick has mentioned, is just the relationships that you form through this, and lifelong friends and mentors, and people that if it wasn't for them, I would not be here. And I mean that sincerely. So it really can impact your life in ways that you would never imagine. You think, oh, just an association, I have to pay dues. No, this is not about paying dues. This is about getting so much back, so much more back than you could imagine. So I encourage everyone here to visit the website, get some information, talk to Renae, talk to Rebecca, see how you can get involved. Talk to me. You can email me. You can contact me. I'm willing to help wherever you're at in Texas. We'll get you plugged in. Or if you just want to chat, we can certainly, we're always here to help our members, because we want to just keep growing this. Texas does lead from the front, and we need to stick by that. I would just encourage you to just show up, because that's half the battle. And that can be in many, many ways. But I hope to see you guys at the conference. I hope you do plug in and enjoy the benefits of NAIFA, because as you'll see, there are plenty. So, and these are great people, and we're here to help you. We're here to help you make your lives better and your clients. So thank you so much for letting me just ramble on for a few minutes.
Oh, it's great. There's so much truth there. So Andrea, thank you for that. It's the magic within NAIFA doesn't happen unless you get involved and get engaged. So there are a lot of resources here. We're going so quick because there's so much that we want to drip upon you. Again, you can find any of us on LinkedIn. We'd be happy to direct you in any way. And if we don't get to see it and shake your hand at the state conference, I hope we can do it at a local event or a state event soon. But there's other opportunities within NAIFA. There are designations, there's coursework, there's other really, really great benefits. And one of those benefits, I think, comes from the Leadership in Life Institute. And Texas is really led from the front also with this initiative. And there's a young man on this call, Mr. Davin Bell, who was actually my moderator when I went through that coursework and challenged me on a lot of things. And I'd like, David, if you could pop on and teach them a little about LILI.
Sure, be happy to do it. Rick, always good to see you, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing for NAIFA-Texas. My name is Davin, as Rick said, and I've had the privilege of going through the Leadership in Life Institute called LILI way back in 2012, and officially graduated at the state conference. It'll be 11 years ago in 2013, and I never left. I stayed within the LILI program ever since. So it always amazes to me. And by the way, this is not a Texas thing. This LILI class happens across the country. Its history actually starts here in Texas and California. We arm wrestle with California over who officially had the first day, but so this has been going on since 2000, and Texas has been running classes. I've had the privilege of being a moderator. It's interesting to me. When you read or you talk to young people in particular, they'll take a year and say, "I just need to find out who I am." Trying to find out who I am. You got to be careful, because you might find out who you are and be disappointed. But it's the wrong question to ask. The question isn't who am I? The question is, who do I want to become? What producer do I want to be? What sort of father or mother do I want to be in my personal life? LILI gives you the tools, legit tools. This isn't just like a leadership class where you show up. It gives you the tools. Reading, the course material has been put together beautifully. It's evolved over the past 20 years, but it's put together in a way that now is a launching pad. People then take LILI. It's not a capstone. It really gives you the tools to become the person you want to be. That's a much healthier question to be asking. In terms of how I can take it or how does this work, it is an in-person class. But there's actually now also an online class. So for states like Texas, California, Florida, where there's a lot of territory to be covered, I was fortunate with another good friend of mine, Aaron Osler out of Nebraska, to moderate the first online LILI class. And right now in Texas, we have an online LILI class, which will graduate at the state conference. So that's a great opportunity to jump off of Jim's comments. Thank you, Jim. There will be a LILI class that's private, but there's going to be a LILI graduation, which you're welcome to attend and hear personally from these students what LILI has meant to them. What sort of journey is that now set them off on? So you talk about a fundamental change. LILI is where you need it. I mean, go to LILI, Leadership and Life Institute, and it's a full contact sport. And it's going to, just like our business, we deal with people, full contact sport. It's my favorite. So find me at the conference or email anybody out here. Everyone's been through LILI. That is my understanding, at least on the panel. But it's a love of mine, and you'll find out. You'll find out. Rick, I'll throw it back to you. Thanks for letting me jump in and share with the group a little bit of life.
Oh, it's great. And I cheated, and I'm looking at some of the participants that are in here, and I see a lot of LILI friends as well. So LILI is one of those programs where we continue to evolve and get together again each year at the state conference and continue the learning process. One of the pieces that I mentioned briefly about NAIFA was the advocacy piece. And for some, that is the reason why they join NAIFA. And I get to talk about that. So I think what's unique about the advocacy piece is that we have the honor and the privilege to be able to meet with lawmakers and legislators. I've been blessed in this industry. And as a person who really had zero political aspirations or even any knowledge base on it, I didn't care about advocacy. But the more I was around and the more that I understood, conversations happen with or without you. And I think having a seat at the table means a lot. So as I sit here today, over the last 9 years that I've been in Texas, I've met with all of my legislators and a bunch of your legislators as well. I never wanted to sit with any congressional leader or any representative, but I've met with all of mine and been in their office, and I've had them come to me. So it's neat to be able to build relationships and to do so at the local level, because insurance, I'm an insurance guy, frankly, is managed at the state level. It's overseen and regulated by the state. So having a contact, in fact, I had my representative, who is also the insurance chair committee, the chair, come to my office and visit with me for 2 hours is a blessing to have those relationships. And it's not a pay to play thing. It's more about building relationships and being a resource for those people and their staff to be a resource and to help them understand how functions within insurance contracts really take effect, and how that the contracts or investments and legislation really has an impact on our clients and those in Main Street America. There's always stuff on the books that needs to be addressed. And right now we're going through a good and frankly, some scary stuff. But being able to have a seat at the table at the state level really does push the needle, and to be able to have those contacts where insurance is regulated. Yes, there's federal pieces to it as well. And some of us work for organizations that might have a federal PAC, but also being a part of NAIFA's political action committee. Because just being a member of NAIFA, that's kind of step one. Great, you're here, you've taken care of that. And that's good. That's good for your clients. Because everyone benefits from NAIFA. NAIFA really has a dues collection problem, because if you're licensed, there's 712 insurance companies that are licensed to practice business within the state of Texas. Don't ask me why I know that. But all of the people that write business through those companies are benefits from the work that people within NAIFA are doing. They might not be dues paying members, which is why we need to fix that. But being a member is step one. A step beyond that is participating at some level, smaller or larger, that you're participating in that political action process, that you're contributing dollars to our PAC, to NAIFA-PAC, the Insurance and Financial Advisor Political Action Committee. That's the next step. Some people look at the advocacy piece as really our business insurance. Let's protect our business. But a lot of folks also look at it, let's protect the interest of our clients, of the insurance companies. If we don't take care of our clients or the insurance companies, then we don't have a business and we can't help or serve anybody. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of the way, because we already talked to our state president, but now we get to talk to the incoming for the 2025 national NAIFA president, Mr. Doug Massey.
Thank you, Rick. I echo everything you said and all your comments. I got my advocacy is my hot button. It is my issue with NAIFA, and I cut my teeth in advocacy many years ago, and on a piece of legislation in Texas on creditor protection, and all of us use that. We all talk about how our products are protected from creditors, how the death benefit is protected. Well, that's legislation we passed in Texas. Today, my role is a little bit more on the national side. We won't get too far out in the weeds on what we have on our plate right now, but there's about 3 high priority issues that we have on our plate right now. And of course, the number one that you probably heard something about it, and that's the Department of Labor proposed fiduciary only rule. We're tagging it as fiduciary only rule. It's a rule very similar to what the Department of Labor came out with in 2016, NAIFA-Texas, and several of the NAIFA chapters. And I hope I don't leave some out, but NAIFA Fort Worth, NAIFA Wichita Falls, NAIFA Amarillo, in that northern district of Texas. That's when all the parties decided where we needed to file suit against the Department of Labor, and NAIFA-Texas was the lead plaintiff in that lawsuit. Well, we actually lost in the northern district, but it was filed in the northern district because we knew we would probably end up in the Fifth Circuit, regardless of who won, which is a favorable court for our issue. It did go to the Fifth Circuit, in which they vacated that rule, the finalized rule of the Department of Labor at that time. So we won that battle. Well, the Department of Labor hasn't learned their lesson. They've come back out with this proposed rule. They just closed the comment period. There was over 19,000 comments from the industry, many of which were from NAIFA members. And probably several of you commented on that. Now, it's going to take the Department of Labor probably several weeks, if not months, to digest and look at those comments, but we feel it's very unlikely that they will change their proposed rule, and they'll finalize the rule. And that's when we'll probably file suit again. And it's very likely it'll take the same path. NAIFA-Texas, and probably NAIFA-Texas will be the lead plaintiff on that. We've already started the negotiations with other industry partners, American Council of Life Insurers, some of the other industry associations, which will be the big dog in this fight. And it's one that we won before, and I feel like we can win it again. And it's still very likely, and I encourage you, many of you on this group call, I think all of you have been on the host panel anyway, have been to our congressional conference in May in Washington, D.C. This will probably be an issue there, and we will work with Congress, encouraging them to pass legislation that takes this away from the Department of Labor. I mean, I get it way out of the weeds, but the Dodd-Frank Act actually gave states the rights to regulate insurance. Well, this is an overreach by the Department of Labor, and it's an issue we're watching very closely. Another issue, and again, we're in Department of Labor, and they did finalize the independent contractor rule, which the overwhelming majority of NAIFA members are independent contractors. We're not W-2 employees, nor do we want to be W-2 employees. Well, the finalized rule does not have a specific carve out for insurance agents or financial advisors, or which makes up our membership. It's a little bit complicated. We're still trying to digest all of that yet, and how it will affect us. And it's really how the Department of Labor will enforce the rule. We feel like we're safe on it, but it's one of those issues we can't just let go and not worry about, because we don't all want to be W-2 employees of an insurance company or a broker dealer. It just wouldn't work for the insurance model. So that's an issue we're watching very closely. And then the news, you can't hardly turn on the news at night. You don't hear about government funding and Congress trying to approve the budgets. We're always at risk when Congress is talking about raising revenue and raising money. All of our products and a big part of tax expenditures, which the IRS considers money that changes hands that they don't get a piece of, that's not taxed, there's tax-free. So anytime they're trying to bring down the deficit or pay for us, there's a bullseye on our back. We're watching that very closely, which, it may not be, it probably likely won't be that they're going to make death benefit taxable? That's probably not, but all the other little tax advantages and benefits that all of our products have are at risk. And so that's who we're there to stand and fight for. I could go on and on. Another thing that's on the national on our plate right now is our merger with FSP and Life Happens. And I know Suzanne is on and she'll cover that in a few minutes. So I'll end it with that and send it back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks for everything that you've done, and excited for you to take on that seat next year, since it'll be Texas's centennial year. And there may be someone else on this call that will be leading Texas at that time. So excited to serve with you, as you're going to be national president, which is outstanding. And I know some of this in this recording is a bit timely. But there's information in the chat. And if you're watching this on a recording, simply reach out to our chapter exec, Renae, via email, exec@NAIFA-Texas.org. Because there are great resources that people are dropping in the chat. Also, on the national level, I serve on the NAIFA Live Committee. Every month, we've got really, really great programming that's available on the national scale. There's on-demand recordings of those, so you can go back and also listen to previous speakers, which is fantastic as well. So thank you, Doug. Again, very excited for that. And we're going to keep it on the national scale for just a little bit, and then we'll circle back to some more Texas stuff. But very excited to introduce Randy Clark, who's taken on a few roles over the years, and the 100% agency program, as well as some other initiatives to really get firms involved and engaged. So as the director of membership and also engagement, Randy, table's yours, bud.
Great. Thanks, Rick. And I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. We're going to go over some of the newer benefits to NAIFA, and then I'm going to turn that over to Suzanne Carawan. I'm not even going to try to explain just the amount of work that she does. We'd go over on time if we went back 20 minutes and tried to go till the end of the session. So let me share my screen here. And I'm sure everyone's seen the orientation slide, I hope. Some of the newer in NAIFA. Go ahead, Rick. You got it? All right.
Yep.
I want to make sure everybody is aware that we have a full new member orientation every Monday at 3. All right. There is just too much at NAIFA to try to cram into the 10 minutes that Suzanne and I have to speak today. So I want to encourage everybody, even if you're already a member and you want a refresher, register for that orientation every Monday at 3 o'clock. Everyone's talked about, I'm sure, our merger with FSP and their insurance portfolio. Everyone's very excited that we're adopting that. We're doing a special webinar on the 5th of February at noon Eastern to go over that and what it means for NAIFA members, for FSP members, and really describe what's going on. Our CalSurance program is going to prevail there. We're updating the Find an Advisor tool, which you can learn all about if you go to one of those special orientation sessions at 3 p.m. And we're also doing a special bundle from Life Happens for NAIFA members. So again, make sure that you're attending 2 things, the member orientation on Mondays and that special webinar on February 5th. Keep an eye out in your email for an invite to that. On the NAIFA member front, what's new, what's back? The Young Advisor Team program. If you are 40 or under, you're part of our Young Advisor Team, and part of the mission in NAIFA is to make sure that you stay in the business, that you're successful. We will be doing Yat Chat. It's back. It's a newsletter for young advisors, for what we call Yats in the blog. It includes power tips from NAIFA coaches that include Glenn Crawford, Brian Wilson, Chris Gandy, Joe Templin, Dan Finley, you name them, they're there. We have awards for our Young Advisor Team members. Our ATs are 40 and under. Our Advisor Days 40 and under awards, very prestigious award for our young members. We have an Advisor Ambassador program that is going to relaunch in February. It's members only, and it's for new Young Advisor Team members. They're enrolled, and it helps them accelerate their careers. We include topics like time management, prospecting, building your brand, growing your network, everything you need to make sure that you're successful in your business, and further, that you're taking advantage of your NAIFA membership. The book club on what are you reading, and the Yat Chat, book reviews by our Yat, really bringing that Young Advisor Team community together. We're also doing special onboarding outreach for young advisors, young members, their leaders. We get noticed as chapter leaders when a new Yat has joined, so they can reach out to you and welcome you to the fold. There's a lot going on with our young members here, which are so important because you're the future of our organization. We're also Coaches Circle. It's a new member benefit for NAIFA. Dan Finley, 80 members per session. Once a month, you can register. He's been part of the NAIFA benefits portfolio for over a decade. He's the president and co-founder of Advisor Solutions. He's dedicated to helping financial service professionals build a better business. Make sure you take advantage of these coaching sessions. They're meant to be member to member kind of sharing, run by Dan in the coaching sessions here. There we go. Apologize for that. Membership incentive programs that we run for our members. Give you a great example. In Q4, we gave out a $100 gift card for the member that referred the most members. So if you're bringing folks into the fold, you see the value in NAIFA membership, and you know someone that it can help, refer them. Keep an eye on your inbox. We run referral incentives, prizes all the time. Especially, I love NAIFA months coming up in February. Make sure you keep an eye out. A couple years ago, we did $10 Starbucks gift card for every member you refer. We are running contests like that nonstop, so that one, you can take advantage of NAIFA, you can build out your circle of influence, and you can help bring new members into the fold to help with that advocacy that Rick and Doug were talking about so passionately. We're launching what we call a group membership reimbursement program with the chapters. If you have a contact, if you know someone at a larger agency that is a good prospect for NAIFA membership, we've got some things in the budget now where we can reimburse chapter leaders to go take donuts and coffee, talk about NAIFA for 15 to 20 minutes. Let your chapter leaders know, let your chapters know, or let national know where you have those connections. And again, we can help grow that NAIFA footprint. It's just going to get you further ingrained with the organization. And then our brand ambassador programs at large company kickoff events. If you have a contact at a large company that has a sales event, a kickoff event, a reward event, whatever it may be, we've got folks at the national level that we can offer as speakers to talk about the industry, to talk about why NAIFA is important. And again, it's going to help grow your personal brand by getting involved with NAIFA leaders, getting involved with your carrier companies, your BDs. We can help with all that. So from there, I'm going to stop sharing here and turn it over to Suzanne, who's going to go through our member portal a little bit for you.
Okay, and hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here and show you just a couple of things. First and foremost, I'll just say as I switch over to share my screen, boy, I love our NAIFA members. I love our NAIFA family. I love NAIFA-Texas. I just get such a energized every time I talk to all y'all. So it's so great. So our members portal is where you're going to find all sorts of information that Andrea kind of alluded to earlier. And by the way, some of you can look at very quickly. It's members.naifa.org, very easy to understand. And what I want you to do when you think about your membership is, aside from thinking about advocate, educate, and differentiate, I want you to think about how you can really utilize your NAIFA membership as part of your brand, right? We are here to help market you. When you're successful, we're successful. So we're in it together. That's how we see it. We see it as a symbiotic relationship. And if you've ever heard me speak, I say two things very consistently. One, there's no such thing as too much love. We're going to love up on you as much as you want us to love up on you. And the more involved you get, the more love you see. I'm happy to put you in front of our, 15,000 followers, our 80,000 advisor today readers, etc. Because what NAIFA members love more than anything else in the world are other NAIFA members. So we love our new member spotlights. If you're new here and you're like, I didn't know that, we'll actually call you up. We'll do a full member spotlight. We'll publish it professionally. And the same is true for our 100% agencies and our financial security group champions. So the shout out for those of you who have taken a step into that direction. We're also here to make sure that we can save you money, right? So think of us as we have we're your personal shoppers for your business. In our benefits bundle, we have all sorts of options for being able to get discounts on household items like GE appliances or laptops that you need, but business services, like we talked about group insurance coming your way, et cetera. And there's a lot of other stuff in there that maybe you're like, gosh, I wish they had took the power of their 20,000 plus membership this would make a lot of sense for us. If you have an idea, we're here, because part of NAIFA, all of our members are incredibly entrepreneurial and therefore creative. All of you have phenomenal ideas. So I'll just repeat what Rick is saying, what Doug is saying, what Renae is saying, what Rebecca is saying, right? We're here for you. We're really here to make this an incredible organization that you could dedicate part of your life with, right? We like to do life together, is like we say. And also there's all sorts of opportunities. So just really quickly, the member portal itself is really, it's organized the way that we think about our value proposition, which is advocate, educate, and differentiate. And within here, you'll see that we'll put in pieces that are really important for you to know. So this is our Friday webinar that's coming up that I kind of dropped in the chat. And then I just want to point out, as you go through kind of getting to know our programs in our advocacy world, we're also big and hip on making sure that you can be part of what we like to call the Triangle Team. And I say that because NAIFA-Texas has more Triangle Team members than any other state in the nation. And Triangle Team members it really is a hallmark of saying that you are the most engaged NAIFA member there is. You need 3 things to qualify. You either are LILI grad, and or you've recruited members, you have your financial security advocate badge, and you contribute currently to IFA-PAC. And we can get all of your NAIFA leaders, NAIFA-Texas leaders can get into that more so. I just want to alert you, this is a great way to get into, if you're like, I don't know how to step into advocacy or this world of politics, what is this? The Financial Security Advocate Academy. You can do it on your own time. You can also join a group and you can earn that, and you can put that out onto your social media and therefore market yourself in yet another way and differentiate yourself to your clients. So then you can aspire to be a Doug Massey, et cetera, Rick Demko, and be that involved. Our best members utilize advocacy, not just to do good, not just to do the goodwill for their clients, but they also utilize that to say, hey, clients, I happen to be out of the office today because I'm advocating on your behalf. And they have beautiful photos to show that at the beautiful state, Texas State Capitol or in Capitol Hill, et cetera. So we definitely encourage you to participate in all of that. And again, as you go through the other parts of it, you're going to find the other pieces that are members only. So we have, for those of you who are coming over from the FSP world, you'll see that you haven't lost any benefits, and NAIFA members, you've gained this. You can ascribe to new section newsletters. You can see here's all the back issues of the journal. And maybe you weren't aware of some of the other programs that we have in here as well. But you can peruse this to your heart's content. It's here all the time. And we make updates and we send that to you through our Thursday member newsletter. So anything that's new, we put that in there, as well as all of your leaders get constant communication to be able to send to you. We mentioned in here awards and whatnot. All of the awards are here. If you want to find out how you can get more information on Triangle Team that I mentioned, how you too can be a hard hat winner because you love NAIFA so much, you want to go out and spread the word. All of that is in here for you to understand. And then within the partners, this is where you're going to find our benefit marketplace, all of the discounts, et cetera, and you can do that. Probably the most important and one of the most popular areas of the member portal is the calendar. So all of our upcoming events are here, our key signature events, et cetera. And as Rick said, NAIFA Live, which is our monthly webinar program. And again, all the different ways that you can volunteer, and your benefits here are just here in a snapshot. So I hope that you can utilize that. And again, we're here just like anybody else to help you and make sure that you have a successful experience here at NAIFA. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Randy you to share, or I guess I can go back to my own slide deck and let me go. Okay. And so I just want to give a couple comments on our new expanded NAIFA family. We mentioned when we talk about NAIFA family, when we talk internal member to member, we call it our NAIFA family. When we talk out to the external world, when we're talking to media or we're talking to companies, we'll call it NAIFA nations. You'll hear us use those interchangeably. But our NAIFA nation is built on strong state, strong nation, which is the second thing you'll hear me say all the time. The stronger Texas is, the stronger the union is. So we're all for it, right? Let's blow Texas out of the water this year. I'd love Texas to be #1 in every category. That just makes everything great because, again, a strong state, strong nation. So now that we've included this new group of people, so let's talk about that and unpack it for a second. As of January 1st, that is the official start date of FSP members that have now become NAIFA members. So we're going to talk about kind of how that breaks down. But January 1st is when they should all have come in. So if you're an FSP member out there and you weren't previously a NAIFA member, welcome to the family. Welcome to NAIFA. We're delighted to have you. In addition, right during that kind of end of the Q4 time, we also kind of finished our workings with bringing Life Happens into the fold. So Life Happens is a consumer arm offering great content out there to the world to really push a couple of key campaigns. One is Ensure Your Love Month in February. One is Disability Income Awareness Month, of course, Life Insurance Awareness Month in September, and also some work in the long-term care space and annuities. So we're utilizing those resources to get to consumers, to build demand, to say why you need not just why you need an advisor, but you need a NAIFA advisor, which again increases the value of our membership. So hopefully you can see how all of those things come nicely together to be able to expand our footprint. So our membership promise, even with these three kind of extensive, new brands we're bringing in, stays advocate, educate, and differentiate. Randy, if you want to go to the next one. So a couple of comments on that. Our mission statement is new. I just want to make everybody aware. This is the new mission statement, that we are empowering financial professionals and consumers through world-class advocacy and education. We go to the next one. We'll see that also our about language, or what's called boilerplate, is updated. So everywhere we are now, you're going to see that inclusion of the Society of Financial Service Professionals, as we call it FSP, and as well as our Life Happens kind of piece, that we're really making sure that from consumers, we're saying, hello, you need an advisor, you deserve an advisor. And that could be, that advisor might be also an attorney or accountant in our expanded family. And then I'll put in one other piece there that we're working on, because a lot of times this excites people. We also need a whole new generation of people coming into financial services as a whole. So when we talk to consumers, not only do we talk about the importance of life insurance, protection products, the importance of, finding a good ethical advisor who ascribes to a code of ethics, we also say, hey, mom and dad, hey, student out there in college or university, have you thought that maybe this is a good career fit for you? And we have an entire program called Future Leaders. So we dip down into universities and colleges, trying to bring people into our midst and say, hello, this is a wonderful profession. Listen to Andrea Ames, third generation, and what that means to her, right? Any of our NAIFA members will tell you what an incredibly, not just lucrative profession this is, but really a personally fulfilling, this is a calling. So if that kind of gets you excited, let us know, because you'll be part of our Future Leaders program as well. So moving on, Randy. I also want to make everybody aware that we did another exciting thing in December, which is our Board of Trustees voted to change our bylaws and expand our definition to include all of our now financial security professionals. So now we have agents, advisors, right? We have people in all P&C, wealth management, investments, insurance, disability income, right? We have estate planning attorneys, we have accountants, we have a huge now awesome people to kind of bring into the family and expand the family. So if you're sitting on the call today, I like to ask rooms like, hey, raise your hand if any of you work with an accountant or an estate planning attorney, right? Or you yourself are an estate planning attorney and work with other financial advisors. Let's bring them all into membership with NAIFA, because we are ourselves enough, right? We are going to win from within, and we're building this national network of people who are willing to work together and ascribe to that same code of ethics and have the same values that we have been talking about today. So I just wanted to pull that one out and let you be aware of that. Next slide, Randy. So a couple of things. We have some people kind of moving and shaking. We had about 1,200 or so, don't quote me on the exact number, but we had 1,200 or so people that were both NAIFA and FSP members before January 1st. So at this point, the NAIFA membership fees prevail. Your FSP dues will fall off. We're asking you, if you're one of those people, could you thoughtfully consider taking that money and putting it from your FSP over to NAIFA-PAC and ensuring that we are a strong, strong nation, especially as we come up to all the pieces that are coming into an exciting election year and all the changeover in Congress that is happening. We have 50 plus seats up, all of this needs new relationships, et cetera. Also want to mention then, if you are a NAIFA FSP member, or you're an FSP member that now just became a NAIFA FSP member, you're going to get a special welcome kit in the mail, and you get a NAIFA FSP designated lapel pin. Now, maybe before you're an FSP member, you remember we used to have lapel pins, but it's been a while. Well, lapel pins are a pretty big deal in the world of NAIFA. We wear them very proudly. We have our round one, which is our congressional conference pin that we go to the Hill in, and you can wear that at any point to talk about the power of NAIFA. And then additionally, we have a triangle team pin. We have congressional council pins. I have no doubt NAIFA-Texas has its own set of pins. We're all very proud. LILI has a pin. So we're all very proud of our pins. So we're excited to be able to give that to you, and you'll receive that in the mail in just a few short weeks. We talked about our blended membership bundle. We're always looking to do more. We're here for you, etc. And I think if we go to the next slide, I just want to finish with together we can take on anything, which is our tagline across the board for NAIFA Nation. We know that we have many challenges ahead. We've mentioned quite a few of them today, but what we do know is what they say on Capitol Hill. When NAIFA shows up, we are a formidable force. We want to be that force in Austin as well as Washington, D.C. We thank you so much for belonging. And Rick, I will turn it back to you. Thanks for having us.
I love it. Thank you, Suzanne and Randy. So Suzanne's vice president of NAIFA National, and also the host of Advisor Today's podcast, which if you haven't checked it out, or if you haven't been on LinkedIn in a while, there's some really, really great programming on that too. So I want to recap a little bit because we're coming up on time. So I got about 5 minutes or so. We had talked about a lot of different stuff. In fact, I took a ton of notes. I probably took more notes during Randy's talk than any of them. So those benefits, and I registered for 2 new sessions that I didn't have on my calendar just from Randy's talk. So the benefits, the NAIFA incentives, all those things were great. The LILI, the Ongoing Leadership in Life Institute, and the continued involvement and benchmarking with each other. What Andrea said about, you get more when you serve, but you're not serving in order to receive. You're serving because you want to serve. But when we're engaged and we're active, then you end up finding that, the world just gets a bit better, which I think is also the basis of this meeting, is to make sure that we know what's going on, that we have an idea, that we're plugged in, and that we can support each other. Folks that are engaged get a lot of value out of being part of an organization, to serve that organization, which makes us better with our clients. I've got tons of stories as it relates to that. If you need anything, obviously reach out to Renae and Renae's team. So exec at NAIFA-Texas.org. Of course, you can find all that information on NAIFA-Texas's website as well. Get engaged was, again, our current state president, Jim Thompson, was strongly encouraging. And then obviously now with society, I always call it society, but Society of Financial Service Professionals, which I was a member of as well. And the partnership with Life Happens, which is fantastic. All of these are just really, really great benefits. Way too much that we can canvas within an hour. So please attend that orientation, that national orientation that you heard as well. But we're Texas. We wanted to do some things a little bit of the Texas way. So I will again ask our panelists if there's anything else that you wanted to share, something that maybe we glossed over that you want to reinforce. This would be a great time for you to do that.
Just real quick, Rick, I'll jump in. I am also very adamant about advocacy. In fact, I've been IFA-PAC chair for the last 14 years in Amarillo. And just because I didn't mention it in the state conference, we will have an IFA-PAC fundraiser. We always do. We always want to make sure that people realize it's a separate part of NAIFA. You don't do it just by being a NAIFA member, but we really need to supply the funds to make sure we protect our family. I talked about loving our family. That's why we want to be a member, but we need to protect our family and make sure we continue to survive. So thank you for putting this together and everybody being a part of it.
Again, all of us I speak for the mass, because, and not just the Massey, which I'm honored to call friend, but the masses on this call and this panel. Reach out to us. I'm sure we're all on LinkedIn, or there's ways to track us down. And it's what I have found is that when people end up leaving NAIFA, it has nothing to do with what NAIFA did. Instead, it has more to do with they didn't understand NAIFA, or they didn't sit through a session like this. They weren't aware. I think it's an advocacy organization, but maybe they didn't know anything beyond that. So share this video, share this our testimony from today. NAIFA-Texas is going to support NAIFA-Texas, and also you heard from some really great NAIFA national representation too. We're all part of the same goal, and that new mission statement and everything was fantastic. So with that being said, thank you all, and we'll see you soon. Go NAIFA.